It's high praise. Personally, I think he's the best quarterback in the league, says Cam Lewis. Are we putting Cam Lewis on the board? Maybe.
What? I'll keep going.
He's just special. This is from David Edwards. What he does throwing the ball, it's really hard to describe how good of a player he is. I think he's one of the all-time greats. Wow. Is the hype around Josh too high at this point? One of the all-time greats. Football history.
So Brew was looking around the studio saying, "Is the board?"
I'm shocked that the board is. It's got to be board.
No, it's not. It's not on the board. I'm gonna let. They're on a bit of a sugar high. It's his own teammate. It's not Jordan Poyer, who's a former teammate, saying he's the best quarterback in the league. It's not Jamar Chase saying he won't even say Mahomes' name like he's Candyman staring into the bathroom mirror. So that's fine. Cam Lewis can say what he wants. And I don't even have a problem with it. But this is where we get ahead of ourselves. And you can kind of set your watch to it. Now, again, to remind the audience, I picked the Bills to win this division. You'll see where they are in tiers. Yesterday, I said they reminded me of the 2022 Chiefs, whose quarterback won the MVP, they led the league in points, and they won the Super Bowl. But we have seen this beginning of the season story before.
That's true.
And we can show you 3 of the last 4 years, Josh Allen's first 3 games look a lot like this. Right. And while the passer rating is higher than ever before, the yards are markedly lower. I mean, week 2, he had 139 passing yards and 2 yards rushing. Now, he was, I thought, excellent in week 1 and basically played a perfect first half in week 3.
What he needed.
And the game was over.
Just did what he needed.
Week 2, that was the Tua game, and they ran the ball, whatever it is. But the all-time great thing is a bridge too far. And it is same with how I feel when Brew talks about the Hall of Fame, which is, do I think Josh Allen is a smart bet to make the Hall of Fame? Yes. Oh. But that's because I think eventually he is going to get some of the accolades that currently he does not have. So he is not yet an all-time great. Is Cam Newton an all-time great, Brew?
No.
No. Okay, he's got an MVP, he's been to a Super Bowl.
I say yes.
No, he's a kind of an icon, not an all-time great. Is Matt Ryan an all-time great?
No.
Okay, he's got an MVP, he's been to a Super Bowl. Is Phillip Rivers an all-time great? Phillip Rivers' resume matches right up to Josh Allen, and statistically speaking as well, not with the running, but with gaudier passing stats. No. So will he one day be an all-time great? Probably. Right now, there are 2 all-time greats playing quarterback, Mahomes and Rodgers. That's it. Stafford is not an all-time great. I love him.
You just disproved your own point by saying that these other players who became MVPs or went to a Super Bowl, that those individual accolades don't mean that you're an all-time great. And yet he's saying that Josh Allen doesn't have those accolades, therefore he is not an all-time great. Do you understand the insanity of that? Let me say it one more time, okay? To be very clear. He just said that Josh Allen is not an all-time great. He doesn't even have these accolades. And then now he pointed to the players who are not all-time greats who have those accolades, therefore confirming that having those accolades does not make you an all-time great. Okay? Those awards have largely been nonsense. And getting to the Super Bowl is not an individual quarterback trait, okay? An accomplishment. It is indeed a team effort. I know for a fact, we all know it. Nick Wright does not think that Jalen Hurts is a top quarterback in the NFL. He sees him as a bottom tier quarterback in the NFL. And yet he went to the Super Bowl. So therefore, he's actually gotten farther than Josh Allen. Who does he think is better, Josh Allen or Jalen Hurts? Exactly. So you can't just go by what some of these other accomplishments are. You have to look at what is the player doing with the team and the coaching and the situation constructed around him. So yes, Josh Allen's talent and honestly greatness is an all-time great. Yeah, he's still building his resume without a doubt. It's still growing. It's still very early on in his career. But what he does is something that is incredibly rare. Okay? look at Bo Jackson as a great example. Bo Jackson is technically an all-time great, but since he got injured and all that, he was unable to sustain his career in either sports, football or baseball, and so he's not in the Hall of Fame. But he was an all-time great talent, and his greatness was all-time as well. But it wasn't sustained long enough because of, the circumstances. But you could still say, yeah, he's an all-time great. All-time great doesn't need to mean anything more than that. That what we see Josh Allen is doing right now, what he's been able to do, is something that you just don't typically see in NFL. So yeah, it makes you an all-time great. Has he accomplished all-time great things? No. But you don't. That's the thing. Dan Marino, who's a better quarterback, Dan Marino or Eli Manning? The answer is obvious. The answer is very obvious. Is Eli Manning better than Josh Allen? No. So it just doesn't make to get lost in that is absurd. And to use these other accolades as justification, it actually does not hold up, because you need would Patrick Mahomes be winning MVPs with the stats that he has right now for these last 2 years? No. And his team is worse. He was winning MVPs when his team was significantly better, when he was putting up better stats, better numbers, had a better team around him. So you need those things around you to be able to accomplish. They say this all the time. Football is the ultimate team sport. And right now, especially in the NFL, in the league, today, I'm not talking about previously, I'm talking about today, Josh Allen is the best quarterback in the NFL, and he's better than Patrick Mahomes today. And he was better than Patrick Mahomes last season as well. Patrick Mahomes was like below Baker Mayfield at that point. And again, I'm not just going by the stats. I'm going by the whole piece together, okay? Patrick Mahomes has been on a better team. No ifs, ands, or buts. Patrick Mahomes is an all-time great and a legend and is amazing. But right now, on pure quarterback play, it is Josh Allen over Patrick Mahomes. And I believe Greg Jennings is going to say that too, but I don't know, maybe not.
And maybe he will be one day, and he's won a Super Bowl. Lamar is in a tricky spot.
I mentioned him before.
Lamar's got 2 MVPs. Okay, sure. So throw him in there.
But look,
he's not there yet. That's where it's too far.
I agree with you, because even though I've said I'm projecting, obviously. I mean, if Josh Allen fell off, he, at this moment or next season, he wouldn't be a Hall of Famer.
But what if he does the exact same the next 6 years, this year's?
He's a Hall of Famer. See, I don't just base it, this is where I don't just base everything off of accolades. All right, Steve Nash has 2 MVPs. He was never even the best player in the league in the NBA. So I don't just base it off, you got so many MVPs or so many Super Bowl appearances. Watching this dude play, and I agree, you can't call him an all-time great. I agree with that. But watching the way he plays, if he does this, doesn't win a Super Bowl for the next 6 years,
never gets to one,
he will still be, to me, a Hall of Famer, because he is perennially one of the top 3 quarterbacks in the league.
Correct.
He has everything put on his shoulders. Only him and Mahomes have this much put on their shoulders. And
Lamar's got quite a bit, just to be fair, put on his shoulders.
But I don't think he has as much as you can argue that. That's fine. But this guy is awesome. But and I think I feel strongly. I don't have any problem saying I think he's a future Hall of Famer, because when we look back at this era, we're going to say, yeah, it was the Mahomes era, but Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and Joe Burrow, they were awesome.
Yeah.
And so I think he's a future Hall of Famer, but no, he's not the best quarterback in the league, and I don't like calling him an all-time great after 6 years.
All-time great alert, Greg?
So all-time great alert. Look, as a teammate, yeah, you're gonna say he's an all-time great. I don't mind that at all. I don't think the hype is too high. Look, we all at this desk, prior to the season starting, thought that this could be a year that that Josh Allen could win MVP based on his performance with lesser talent around him. Mm-hmm. And he has gotten off to, albeit the September champ start that you've always alluded to every single year, but it just feels a little different because this seems like it's sustainable. Now, I don't know how much more of a ceiling they have because this may be what they are. Like, I do believe Josh Allen can give you a little bit more, obviously, in the running game. If you wanted to play a little bit more hero ball, yes. But as far as maximizing everything that they have, he's doing that right now.
I totally agree with that. And again, I'm in a weird spot because I like this Bills team. I think it's smartly built. I think they did the smart long-term thing of taking their cat medicine. There's a lot of things I think were.
No, that's so disingenuous because when he says that he's picked the Bills and to win and this or that, it's because he thinks the Jets are trash. It's because he thinks the Patriots are trash, and it's because he thinks Miami Dolphins and Tua are trash. That's the reality. It's not because he thinks the Bills are a great team, right? Or that they're going to be better than other people believe in, yada, yada, yada. It's because he doesn't think that those other teams are good. That's why he was technically higher on the Bills than maybe than any other people. But he ripped the Bills all offseason saying that Josh Allen is in so trouble. He'll probably never win a Super Bowl. He's like now starting to slowly change his tune slightly. But like, let's not act like that he's been kind of saying this all along because it's just not true.
Smart and being like, you know what, we got a superhuman at quarterback, let's do it. Where I have to push back is this. If you just mentioned the the legend and the two other superstars of his era, Burrow, Mahomes, Lamar. He's played the times in the playoffs. He's played great once in a game he lost. He's 1-4 for the quarterback wins. Folks, the one win was a 17-3 win when Lamar just really played poorly. The reason I'm saying he can't simply duplicate
He played great against Mahomes last year. He is not why they lost. He had more pass attempts than Patrick Mahomes had completions and was the second leading rusher in the entire game. He did every single thing he could have to put the Bills in a position to win against the #1 defense, the Kansas City Chiefs. So that's absurd to say that he didn't play great because he didn't put up cartoonish numbers of 400 passing yards and 150 rushing yards and 5 touchdowns. That means he wasn't great in that game and that now he gets tagged for that loss. It doesn't make any sense because he also gets tagged for the loss against the Chiefs and obviously the famous, game between them two. So it doesn't make any sense. And then again, against the Bengals, he had nothing to do with that game in the snowstorm. That was just terrible, terrible, terrible coaching. Josh Allen has had I say this all the time, he's had a revolving door of offensive coordinators. And that's brutal. That's like him having constantly a new head coach. That's the stability that some of these other quarterbacks have had a luxury of having.
The last 6 years, over 6 more years, and then be held in the stature that we're talking about. If there's 3 other guys of your era, and one of them wins a bunch of MVPs, and the other 2 are undefeated against you in the playoffs, then you're a clear, not even bronze medalist of your own era.
But that's all QB wins.
No.
I mean, what you're saying is if you don't beat them in the playoffs.
So I think all quarterbacks are judged by playoff performance.
Yes, I agree.
But his playoff performance is.
He's got the highest touchdown to interception ratio of all time, Josh Allen.
He's had some really good ones and some bad ones. I think he's 7th all time in playoffs.
Right. He has played great. He has played great against the nobodies in the playoffs. In the 5 games against Burrow, Mahomes, and Lamar, he has 1 game with a passer rating above 90, and that was the famous 13 seconds game. Every other game, it's in the mid-80s or lower. He hasn't played great in those games.
Can I flip it for a second?
And if you're going to reduce a game down to that, to just a passer rating and what you do, then Patrick Mahomes has never really been good in the Super Bowl. Because when you look at the playoffs, he continues, he gets worse and worse and worse in the stats. And yet no one's going to say that he plays bad. You're not going to say he plays bad. Yet he has 5 interceptions in 4 Super Bowls. And his ratings have not been good. Go look at his Super Bowl stats. They're not amazing. They're not unbelievable. And yet you would still say Patrick Mahomes won those Super Bowls, that he stepped up, situation that he did everything he could to put the Chiefs in a position to win. And rightfully so, he deserves praise for that. So it's just so backwards. It really, really is. It's just so backwards and not consistent at all. Not consistent at all. And again, if you want to live and die by these numbers, if you want to just look at the passer rating, I've already showed you then Pro Football Focus. If you just want to do that, then let's go look at it. Because then literally this season and last season, Josh Allen has been significantly better statistically than Patrick Mahomes, and it's not even close. Not even close. I already went through the rankings and people got mad about it. I think I have it somewhere over here. Yeah. That Josh Allen is number 1 in 2023 and Mahomes is number 10. So again, I'm just using what Nick said about the stats. That's what I'm doing. Josh Allen this year is 4 and Patrick Mahomes is 15th. So if we just want to go by these basic muted stats with no other context, okay, fine. Then absolutely, Josh Allen's better. So yeah, sure, that's what we want to do. Fine.
The question around all these quarterbacks outside of Mahomes are, can they take their game to the next level? We're waiting for Dak to go to the next level. Burrow got there. Can he get there? Jalen Hurts, we're like, hey, can you get there? He kind of goes the other way. Josh is like, can he get to this next level? It feels like since the OC change, he's done that. So I think he almost like you have to separate. It's a new chapter of Josh Allen's career. If since in the last 5 games, he's got 16 total touchdowns, 11 throwing, 5 rushing, no interceptions. We talked about it yesterday. From being an interception machine, he leads the league with almost 170 attempts without an interception. So I feel like there's a line in the sand between the old Josh Allen and this Josh Allen.
Correct.
So like the old, like, hey,
But the old one was great too.
The old one was great, but this
with
one
all
can
those
be
things
an all-time
that
great.
Well, we have to see. I mean, he has to. We're
It's
not
small
going to
sample.
judge this one. Now, he may win the MVP, but we're really going to judge him based on what he does in the playoffs.
I know, but
If he does the same thing he's done
see,
in the
if he
playoffs
wins an
before,
But if he
MVP,
wins
I
an
think
MVP,
that'll be nicer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that'll
think
be
that's.
fine.
Well, I think it's. I agree. Wild said yesterday, I think off the air, that the only thing that you rank. Do I have this right?
let's see.
Winning MVP above making but losing a Super Bowl?
Yes.
That in Wild's mind, quarterback kind of pyramid. It's like
Winning
win
the
the
Super
Super
Bowl,
Bowl, win
and
MVP,
MVP.
and make the Super Bowl. It's also a way for him to have Lamar ahead
Also,
of Joe
like,
Burrow,
sick
I think.
play.
But I do think that when we talk about the legendary or even legendary adjacent quarterbacks, MVPs are important. And it's when people start arguing about first ballot for Eli Manning or for Ben Roethlisberger, or the people that are anti will say, where are the accolades? Where are the non-team related accolades? And so I do think winning MVP, and if he wins MVP and loses to Mahomes in the playoffs, I think it's a spectacular year.
It's hilarious because winning an MVP for a quarterback is not an individual accolade when you really think about it. It's a team. It's a team thing as well, because we do it to the guys who are putting up all these big numbers, and you need a great team to be able to do that. You also, the MVP is usually always a top seed in the NFL, which again, you need the team to be able to do that as well. So this idea that anything is ever truly individual in the NFL, like coaching doesn't matter at all, is just always funny to me. Yeah, it's, I don't know. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think? Do you think Josh Allen is indeed the best quarterback in the league right now? And do you think he is an all-time great, or will he be an all-time great? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment. It's whether you agree with me or disagree with me. Either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I would absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much, and see you next time.